Hello. I have a story to tell. Minecraft was once my favorite game, but after this experience, I can no longer bear to play it. I was playing in creative, in a super flat world where my friends and I often tested redstone builds or just generally messed around. The base of operations of sorts was built in a large village near spawn, as to make it easier to find. It was late at night on a Saturday, around 2 in the morning, and my friends had been offline for a few hours, meaning I was the only one online. I had forgotten to leave the PS4 party me and my friends were in, but it didn't matter because I was the only one, and it was set to only be open to my friends. I was testing a TNT cannon in the shape of a Roggen statue, meaning I was constantly nearby a 75-block tall behemoth of a Roggen statue. The day-night cycle was off, meaning I was very confused when the sun began to set in the game. I tried setting the time today, but nothing happened. Additionally, a single Enderman spawned in the distance, which I thought was strange as the world was set to peaceful unless we were testing something that involved using mobs. I got a diamond sword from the creative menu and flew over to the Enderman. I noticed it had a tall crest and one large circular eye in the middle of its face. I thought it looked a lot like a Roggen, but thought it was just a weird bug. It was frozen in place and no particles came off of it, it didn't even have an idle animation. I hit it once and it died instantly. It dropped a single item, called Eye of Roggen. It looked a lot like the Eye of Ender, but was yellow with a more round pupil, instead of the normal slit-shaped one. The time suddenly changed to day, which was strange, but probably just another bug. I flew over to the Roggen statue and had a strange urge to put the eye into a hopper that happened to be right in the center of the Roggen and behind the eye, meaning it was right in the middle of the entire contraption. I did this, and the redstone machinery all turned itself on, and in a few seconds, something popped out of the eye, which was where the firing action of the cannon was. It was called Roggen Delicious Canned Spaghetti. The icon for the item was hyper-realistic, like an actual photo was put into the game, instead of the regular pixel art. I looked in my inventory to find everything was mysteriously missing, and in its place was an empty spawner, raw copper, and a single egg. I tried opening the creative menu to get my stuff back, but to my surprise, it opened the crafting menu, as if I was in survival mode. However, a new tab was there in the crafting menu. It had no icon, so I scrolled over to it. It was just called Roggen and had 3 recipes. One was to transform raw copper directly into copper ingots, which was very convenient as copper is the best item in the game, and this could save time for crafting such a valuable item. The next was copper wire, which required copper 3 ingots, and finally, a Roggen spawn egg, which required 1 can of Roggen Delicious Canned Spaghetti, 1 egg, and 1 copper wire. I had 3 raw copper, just enough to make enough copper ingots for the copper wire. Crafting the copper wire made my power mysteriously go out, but my PS4 and TV somehow stayed on. I thought that this was strange, but continued to make the Roggen spawn egg. When I did, I got a platinum trophy that had garbled text and random symbols and numbers. I thought it must have been added in some update that had just come out and wasn't working properly. I tried to use the Roggen spawn egg, but nothing happened. Then, I had the idea to place it in the spawner and put it on the top of the Roggen statue's crest. I flew up and did that, and nothing happened for a second. What happened next terrified me. A player named Roggen somehow joined my party, and they began making a very loud static sound, so I had to mute my headphones. The text saying Roggen has entered the game appeared, but the letters were dripping with hyper-realistic blood, as if someone had put blood that was more realistic than real-life blood into the game, and put the realistic blood directly on the letters in the game. I saw someone in the distance rapidly approaching. They were using a variation of the Glorg skin from Skin Pack 2, except it was dark purple, with a mustard yellow sclera for the eye, with a similarly colored thin tall crest where the head of a normal skin would be. I noticed I had a survival mode health meter and hunger bar. Both were at 1. However, I could still fly. The creative menu had been fully replaced by the survival mode crafting menu, and all I could access was the Roggen crafting section. I flew away from the Roggen as fast as I could, but noticed he was still gaining on me somehow. I heard a deep and gravelly voice say,
"You cannot run from me. I can't already serve no."
I was terrified. However, I still had one plan. I flew into the Roggen statue, the Roggen following me. I had just enough time to break a block below a crucial water source with a block of copper, the water source preventing a TNT explosion from actually causing damage or breaking blocks. I set off the cannon, causing a massive explosion without the water. The Roggen and I both died instantly, along with the entire statue, and the Roggen spawner being completely obliterated in the blast. The user named Roggen left the party, and Minecraft crashed. I logged back into it and tried to open the world, but the data was corrupted and it couldn't load. I quit in shock and was unable to sleep the rest of the night. If you ever play Minecraft late at night and anything Roggen related appears, immediately close the game and never play again, or else you will be like me, haunted by nightmares of the Roggen for 50 years.